Newsfeed at noon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. In the headlines, Hezbollah vows revenge for an unprecedented attack against its members. It is blaming Israel for yesterday's deadly pager blasts that rocked Lebanon. Combative Vice President Sara Duterte returning to the lower house, where a panel is investigating the use of her office's funds. Instagram launches its most dramatic effort yet to protect teens on the platform. And the 52-year-old banker from Bulgaria on a worthy expedition. He's rowing across the Arctic Ocean to call for the protection of endangered ocean species. Thank you for joining us. We begin with what experts are calling an unprecedented attack and intelligence infiltration as pager blasts hit Hezbollah in Lebanon. The militants blame Israel and are vowing revenge. Eugene Adalia reports.
9 dead, 2,800 wounded, as thousands of pagers used by Hezbollah exploded across Lebanon on Tuesday. An attack unprecedented in scale and sophistication, blamed on Israel by Hezbollah's leaders. A son of a Hezbollah lawmaker was among the dead. Tehran's ambassador in Beirut was also wounded.
Most probably, the Israelis have intercepted the supply chain, interfered with the pagers, added a certain explosive material to the batteries or to the pager itself, and, sent it back to waiting for the right moment to do this.
And it really does go to show just how deeply Israel has managed to infiltrate its adversaries in the immediate region.
Hezbollah has warned Israel of retaliation, raising the prospects of a wider conflict in the Middle East. Hezbollah is allied with Hamas, who are currently at war with Israel in Gaza. In Washington, officials deny any involvement in the pager blasts. The White House also repeating its call for a diplomatic solution to the crisis.
When we think about the conflict along the blue line between Israel and Hezbollah, it has gone on for way too long, long enough. And so it is in everyone's interest to resolve it quickly and diplomatically.
Eugene Adalia, BNC.
Continue to believe that there is going.
A think tank from Stockholm presents alarming results of a study on the state of democracy across the world. International Idea says disputed elections are becoming a global phenomenon and voter turnouts are diminishing. The report cites at least 3 factors: wars, global warming, and social inequalities, which it says serve to fuel the erosion of democracies.
When you take the 173 countries covered by our recent report, nearly half of them are exhibiting a very severe decline, a statistically significant decline in at least one absolutely crucial element of democracy. In some cases, the ability to hold credible elections. In some of the cases, protections to freedom of the press. In some of the cases, the quality of civic space. It depends on the country.
A face-off at the House of Representatives as Vice President Sara Duterte locks horns with lawmakers looking into the use of her office's funds. Our reporter, Zandro Ochona, is on the scene at the Batasang Pambansa. Zandro, go ahead. Zandro? Okay, let's now go to budget hearings ongoing at the Senate. The Judiciary, the presidential management staff, and intelligence agencies are among those defending their proposed funding. Agatha Gregorio is on the scene in Pasay. Agatha.
My Supreme Court Administrator Raul Villanueva explained these high accomplishment rates mean there are more cases being disposed of than ones that come in some courts. Villanueva adds over 500 cases are filed in trial courts every year. And for 2024, the accomplishment rate of metropolitan trial courts were higher than their targets. This was also above target last year in the Court of Appeals, Sandigan Bayan, and Court of Tax Appeals. Villanueva says the speed at which they are able to dispose of cases is due to rules meant to expedite hearings, such as allowing direct testimonies of witnesses to be submitted through affidavit form so less questions are asked in hearings. Back to you, Mai.
Agatha, how much is the judiciary asking for in its 2025 budget?
Mai, the judiciary initially proposed over 84 billion pesos for its 2025 budget, but only 63 billion was allotted in the National Expenditure Program for this. The Supreme and lower courts are given the highest amount at 54 billion pesos. It is now asking for more than 12 billion pesos for reconsideration for the budget. The budget for the judiciary was just deemed submitted. Mai?
Thank you, Agatha Gregorio, reporting from the Senate. Let's now go to Zandro Ochona. He's at the lower house looking into the funds of Vice President Sara Duterte. Zandro, go ahead.
My Vice President Sara Duterte is again at the House of Representatives as the Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability started its initial deliberation and preliminary determination on the budget utilization of the Office of the Vice President. The hearing stems from a privileged speech by Manila 2nd District Representative Rolando Valeriano condemning the actions by Duterte during the August 27 budget deliberation. In his opening statement, Committee Chairman Manila 3rd District Representative Joel Chua Jr. asks if courtesy to an equal branch of government such as the Office of the Vice President is enough to bypass the processes by the House of Representatives to scrutinize the proposed national budget. Chua also insists that the committee has jurisdiction over the matter. But Sagip Party List Representative Rodante Marcoleta believes otherwise. He believes or he questions if the rules of the House allow the committee to conduct a motu proprio investigation or an investigation based on a mere privileged speech. Former President and Pampanga Representative Gloria Macapagal Arroyo had to clarify with the committee as well if the Vice President is a resource person or a witness, as there have been previous decisions by the Supreme Court on this. The Supreme Court gives importance on protecting the right to self-incrimination on witnesses. Duterte earlier raised if she is considered a resource person or a witness. The committee had to suspend several times its hearing to ascertain these clarifications. Duterte, during her opening statement, maintains that the House is not set to create laws from this hearing, but a message to the people to not vote for her in 2028. Mai?
Thank you for the update, Zandro Ochona, reporting to us from the Batasang Pambansa. Harry Roque's wife may soon face a show-cause order requiring her to attend the House Quad Committee's hearings on the drug war and crimes linked to Pogos. Manila Congressman Benny Abante tells BNC's Agenda the panel has already invited Mai Rodriguez as a resource person. Abante, the co-chair of the Quad Committee, says Roque's wife is the treasurer of the former presidential spokesman's company, Biancham Holdings and Trading, which saw its value rise from just 125,000 pesos in 2014 to a whopping 67.7 million in 2018.
Show up, we can issue a show cause order on her to compel her to come. And if she doesn't show up again, we could be able to hold her in contempt and arrest her.
Roque has been linked to Lucky South 99, an illegal pogo in Porac, Pampanga, raided by authorities in June. PNP tracker teams are now looking for Roque, whom lawmakers consider a fugitive. ACT-CIS Party List Representative Erwin Tulfo still weighing in on a possible Senate run in next year's midterm polls. On BNC's At the Forefront, the House Deputy Majority Leader said he has yet to make a decision despite dominating national surveys. There are reports Tulfo is part of the administration ticket, but he says there has been no formal invitation.
You asked me kanina, what are my plans for 2025? I have no plans yet. I don't want to say I am not kasi baka naman the administration, baka lang, the administration will say like, come join us. Will I say no? I really don't know.
On the possibility of seeing the Tulfo brothers in the Senate, the congressman says his brother Rafi leaves it up to voters.
He said he doesn't want to make any comments, pero sinasabi niya lang, as much as possible sinasabi niya, parang ayaw niya, okay? Pero sabi niya kung yung mga tao will ask for it, and then so be it, di ba? Kung bobotohin kayo ng tao, then thank you. Kung hindi, then it's okay, wala kayong magagawa. Ibig sabihin, ayaw ng mga tao na tatlong Tulfo sa Senate. That's not our style of politics, the Tulfo brothers. We don't. You vote for us on what you think we can do or what we have done. Otherwise, don't vote for me dahil si Erwin Tulfo ka, dahil sikat ka, or dahil broadcaster ka.
Good news for government workers as they can enjoy free rides at the MRT-3 and LRT-2 from today until September 20. This is part of the celebration for the 124th anniversary of the Philippine Civil Service. The Transportation Department says state employees only need to present their official IDs to avail of the free train rides. Coming up, we'll tell you all about a cordial conversation between rivals Kamala Harris and Donald Trump following the apparent second assassination attempt against the former president. Newsfeed, we'll be right back. Keep it here on BNC.
This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Rojas, and this is tonight's roundup. On the Scorecard tonight, feel like you're somebody who has that desire. Tell us about your experience. Get ready for a thrilling clash, thrilling hostilities, and keep your eyes on the prize. Sports is our business, and business is our sport. This has been the Scorecard.
10 p.m. on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
What is your biggest mistake?
My greatest beefsteak.
I wanted to do that before I aura already.
Aura.
Yeah.
We shine a light on the trailblazers, the disruptors, the titans of industry.
I'm going to eat healthy. It's expensive. Guess what's more expensive? Yeah. The hospital.
We're not just talking about success stories here. We're diving deep into their hearts and minds to see what drives them.
Let's go.
Hello po.
We are Industry Beat on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Good morning, everyone.
BTS fans gathered at Ayala Triangle in Makati.
In a podcast interview, King James said he is excited for training camp. Bronny James.
SB19's Josh Cullen and Beanie's dancing to his song 1999.
It has been a wonderful day.
Remember, every day holds a new adventure.
And we'll be back tomorrow with more positivity and good vibes.
A beautiful day!
On BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
You're back on Newsfeed. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris personally reaching out to her rival Donald Trump in the wake of another attempt on his life. The White House says the two had a cordial and brief phone conversation, with Harris expressing relief that Trump is safe. Speaking to members of the National Association of Black Journalists, Harris also doubled down on her statement, political violence should not be the norm.
Madam Vice President, have you spoken to him?
I have.
And earlier today, I assume?
Yes.
How'd that go? You want to give us some intel?
Sure. I checked on him to see if he was okay.
Yeah.
And I told him what I have said publicly. There's no place for political violence in our country.
Do you have full confidence in the Secret Service to protect all of you?
I do.
You feel safe for you and your family?
I do. But, I mean, you can go back to Ohio. Not everybody has Secret Service. And there are far too many people in our country right now who are not feeling safe.
As for Trump, he acknowledged the gesture of the vice president during a town hall event in Flint, Michigan.
And I have to say that President Biden called me yesterday. It was very nice. We had a very nice conversation. I appreciated that he called about, what happened the other day. And he says, he's committed. He's committed. No, and today, a little while ago, I got a very nice call from Kamala. No. It was very nice. It was very nice. It was very, very nice, and we appreciate that.
While Trump appears to be cordial, his running mate is not. Speaking at a campaign rally in Michigan, J.D. Vance is blaming Democrats and the media over the threats to Trump's life. He also calls for more security for the former U.S. president.
They want to do everything that they can to silence Donald Trump, and they send that signal with every action that they take. Well, if you're trying to silence Donald Trump and you're sending the message, we have to do everything that we can to silence Donald Trump, a crazy person is eventually going to take that message to heart. Don't try to censor your political opponents, because censorship will eventually lead to political violence. We've seen that now twice in the last couple of months, and I hope Democrats learn the lesson.
The White House, meanwhile, cautions Vance over his rhetoric.
And when you have that type of language out there, it's dangerous. It's dangerous because people look up to that particular national leader. And they listen to you when you are a national leader. And when you make comments like that, all it does is create or opens an opportunity for people to listen to you and potentially take you very seriously. And so it's dangerous to have that type of rhetoric out there. This is why this president and this vice president has been very clear on condemning any type of political violence.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs pleads not guilty to sex trafficking charges. The 54-year-old Combs appeared in a Manhattan federal court on Tuesday. He's accused of using his fame to coerce women into demeaning sexual acts as part of a long-running trafficking and racketeering scheme. If convicted, Combs faces a sentence of up to life in prison. His request for bail was denied.
Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. He came to New York to establish his innocence. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of the charges. There's nothing that the government said in their presentation today that changes anyone's mind about anything. He's been looking forward to this day. He's been looking forward to clearing his name.
Back here at home, Tropical Depression Hener already outside the Philippine area of responsibility, but the country is still dealing with Tropical Storm Helen. Pag-asa weather specialist Alzar Aurelio joins us on the line for the weather update. Alzar, go ahead. Anong forecast for tonight and for tomorrow?
Hello and good afternoon. Yes, only one tropical storm that we are monitoring, Tropical Storm Helen. As of 10 o'clock in the morning, the center of Tropical Storm Helen was at 1,060 kilometers east-northeast of extreme northern Luzon. Expected to move northwestward along the right corner of Philippine area of responsibility, the same as the movement of Tropical Storm Ferdy. So, with the Tropical Storm Helen has no chance to make landfall to any part of the country. Movement at the speed of the Tropical Storm Helen is 25 kilometers per hour. So expect tonight, the center of Tropical Storm Helen is outside the Philippine area of responsibility. Southwest monsoon affecting the most part of the country. So expect occasional to monsoon rains over Mimaropa, Western Visayas, also in Calabarzon, and Bataan and Zambales.
Alzar, what is the forecast dito sa Metro Manila? Ano yung mga areas na uulanin?
In Metro Manila, most of the time cloudy po tayo. But expect light to moderate rains, so lesser rains intensity compared yesterday because of southwest monsoon.
Okay, it's mostly the habagat that's bringing rains to the country and hindi itong si Helen, ano?
Yes, si Helen o Hener, malayo ang epekto malayo sa ating bansa, so hindi tayo maapektuhan sa panahon ngayon. in the next 3 days.
Adzar, meron pa pang ibang LPA na paparating o maaaring maging bagyo?
Well, sa ngayon wala pa, and patuloy nating minomonitor dahil panon pa rin ng tag-ulan. So today, tomorrow, within the next 3 days, wala pa tayo nasa panibagong low pressure area o another tropical cyclone.
Alright, maraming salamat, Pag-asa Weather Specialist Adzar Aurelio. Social media giant Instagram launches its most dramatic effort yet to protect teens on the platform. It will create a new setting, automatically making millions of accounts of minors private. Instagram will also restrict what kinds of content young users can view on the app. The new setting will be automatically applied to all users under the age of 18. It comes nearly 3 years after the so-called Facebook papers drew attention to the risks social media platforms pose for young users. Meta banning the Facebook and Instagram accounts of Russian state media networks. Meta says RT and RIA Novosti used deceptive tactics to carry out covert influence operations online. The ban marks a sharp escalation in the steps taken by the world's biggest social media company against Russian state media.
The company accuses us of engaging in, quote, deceptive influence operations and attempts to evade detection, very much like what we have been hearing from U.S. authorities over the past week. Now, prior to Monday's ban, RT had 7.2 million followers on Facebook and 1 million followers on Instagram. Just to point out, RT and Russia as a whole denies the accusations that have been coming en masse against this channel and others in the past number of days. We'll keep you updated on that development in the coming hours and also the ramifications from it.
Back in 2022, Moscow branded Meta as an extremist organization. It also blocked Instagram and Facebook in objection to changes in Meta's hate speech policy. Here at home, San Miguel Corporation of billionaire Ramon Ang settles its 30 billion peso upfront payment to the national government after taking over the operations and maintenance of the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. The Finance Department says the payment of SMC-led New NAIA Infra Corporation was remitted to the Bureau of Treasury and cleared on September 16. San Miguel's contributions may reach 2 billion pesos annually on top of the 82.16% share of the national government to revenues from operating NAIA. Over the course of the project, the government is expected to generate roughly 900 billion pesos in revenues. San Miguel and its partners bagged the 171 billion NAIA rehabilitation project or contract, the largest public-private partnership project under the Marcos administration. Billionaire Leandro Levista's shopping spree continues as he acquires Nueva Ecija's largest poultry farm. Levista says this acquisition is part of his company Provincia Investments' 15 billion peso investment pledge to stimulate economic growth outside Metro Manila. To fund this, Levista is using the windfall from the 15 billion pesos that his company Solar Philippines has raised from the sale of shares in SP New Energy Corp. So far, Levista has acquired stakes in media company ABS-CBN Corporation and holding firm Rojas and Company. A worthy expedition across the Arctic Ocean, a 52-year-old banker from Bulgaria braving the waters to call for the protection of endangered ocean species. Stefan Ivanov was joined by his 21-year-old son. They're also hoping to claim the record for being the first to row across the Arctic Ocean from the southernmost point to the northernmost.
This is an adventure. This is a hobby of ours, but we didn't want to just let it be an end of itself. We wanted to have some positive repercussions on the world if we can, and we embraced two causes. One of them, we're supporting the cause of organ donorship for life-saving transplant operations in Bulgaria, In the other one, since the previous expedition that we did in the Southern Ocean, with my daughter Lara Ivanova, we started a petition to help designate new marine protected areas of over 4 million square kilometers in the Southern Ocean, because over 90% of the big fish in the oceans is already gone due to overfishing.
Before we go, it's time to brush up on your Simlish as the widely popular life simulation game hits the big screen. The movie adaptation of The Sims is finally happening, with Amazon MGM Studios leading the project. Details about the film are scarce, but Margot Robbie's production company Lucky Chap and Loki director Kate Herron are on board. This is Hollywood's latest effort to cash in on the video game adaptation craze sparked by hits including Super Mario Bros., Sonic the Hedgehog, and The Last of Us. And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Good afternoon.
Rise and shine, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Paolo Del Rosario. Get ready because we prepared a lot of great content for you to make the day even better.
And hello, I'm Monique Tuzon, bringing you a wave of positivity and a splash of happiness.
I'm Ann Assis Carrillo. Let's dive into some serious fun, and more fun.
Of course, we hope you found some inspiration
and good vibes. Every day is
a beautiful day.